Normal last night seeing Mousetrap. So again, those of you who are going to see that tomorrow, it's going to be really fun. But I have to be like on my teacher field trip mode tomorrow. So I'm going to ask that we're going to do the following. We're going to get through early Christian, Byzantine, and Islam, all three big high stakes. And then my game plan for tonight was to get through the Middle Ages, knowing that we might have to fudge a little bit. So we'll begin on the Middle Ages and we'll get through it. Don't worry. And we might work a little bit Friday and then a little bit on Monday. So we'll be there. The Renaissance is yours. I feel like that's recent enough chronology. All right. So let's get through early Christian. Get home. Get good night's sleep. That sounds like a great plan with Peters. All right.
Great question.
Now we left off with this, the sarcophagus of Judas. If you guys need to talk outside, and I'm fine with that, but don't sit there and talk because I don't want everybody to do that. That would be too much. But it's fine if you need to. Just go ahead. Come on back when you're ready. All right. So here's the sarcophagus of Judas Bassius. All right. Now, very important. He was a highly placed. He was the prefect of Rome. And what does that mean? That means he's a highly placed administrative official who converted to Christianity on his deathbed. All right. And here we can see, now again, this is what's important. So you've covered so much chronology, but what's important here is that you can look at the sarcophagus and you have the ability to see elements of the classical past. Now, can you see those? Nod your heads, I'm good on that. I can see those things, okay? And that you can recognize the subject matter as being Christian. Right? So this early Christian period is this great period of transition. Now, again, we just had a chance to see Old St. Peter's because I think it's such an important thing to tie to Constantine. So Constantine and his family being the largest patrons of early Christian art. Right, so by this point, you're a champ about a basilica plan. I know that. Right? Okay, now what kind of a plan is this? Central. Well done. Now, let's take a look at this early Christian mosaic. And here we can again see Jesus as the Good Shepherd. But note we moved from the catacombs, a period of persecution, to the period of recognition. And note the difference here with this Jesus. He's dressed in the royal colors. He's got purple. He has gold on. His staff isn't a shepherd's staff. It's his gold crucifix. But I want you to look really carefully at something. Now again, to make sure that you can follow me with this. That you could look at this mosaic and clearly see that it's Roman, as opposed to the Byzantine mosaics that are to come. So you want to look here and you want to see this interest in establishing a landscape. Okay? You want to see how there's actually an element of depth to it. You want to see how the tesserae are laid, particularly with the sheep, to give them some degree of bulk, of actually believing that they're sheep, they're not flat and two-dimensional. Let's take a look at two early Christian book illuminations. So this is Rebecca and Eliza at the well, and then this is the story of Jacob wrestling the angel. Right? Now, looking really carefully, can you find elements of the classical past? Can you do that? Nod your heads yes or no. Nod your heads no if you need help, because that's why we're here. Okay, so I think you can. So again, always seeing that in these. I can do that one. Let's take a look at this one. So this is Michael the Archangel. This is an ivory diptych. Now looking carefully. Could you tell it's ivory? Good. Could you tell that it's a diptych? Okay, good. So you should be able to see where it was once had a counterpart here. All right. Now again, note the classical elements kind of merging with elements, obviously, of Christian iconography. All right. Now let's move, if we could, to our Byzantine period. And we're going to start off with the most important patron to know of the first golden age of Byzantine art, and that is Justinian. Now, Justinian lives and rules from Constantinople. All right? So his home church in Constantinople, okay, is Hagia Sophia. Now, you all looked totally freaked out earlier, but don't be freaked out. You obviously could talk about Roman arch construction or Roman concrete, okay, as an innovation. What innovation do we see for the first time on Hagia Sophia? What's the big innovation in the building of this church? Tara, thank you. No, because they're going to be later. We're just going to do the dome itself, and a construction technique, just from that. Lily.
Is it the dome on pendentives?
The dome on pendentives. All right. So this dome on pendentives, or Byzantine dome as it's called, pushing that dome up, all right, with the triangular pendentives. Again, note the very simple exterior of Hagia Sophia, reminding you that in 1453, now, how many of you think your 30-minute essay is going to be on building techniques? How many of you think it won't be on building techniques? Yeah, you would be right. Ms. Peters, I'm not going to spoon feed you your essay. Ms. Peters is nice, not that nice. All right? Have I done that as an essay before on final exams? I sure have. Not yours. Okay? But you should know building techniques, so I tell you that. Now, knowing that Constantinople is conquered in 1453, and these minarets are added. All right? Put up a hand and tell me why the mosaics are removed or whitewashed when Hagia Sophia becomes a mosque. Why are they? Nina, thank you.
Because of the iconoclast issues.
Well done. But why with the Muslims? What's there? Are the iconoclasts? What do they base that on?
They don't like images of
Well done. Okay, the graven images, the second commandment. All right. Now, take a look at the floor plan for Hagia Sophia, Hagia Sophia. This was missed a lot on your test, and you want to make sure you're honing in on this. So note that this is not a basilica plan, and this is not a central plan. This is a blending of the central and the basilica plans. This is a monumental church. It is not until Michelangelo's New St. Peter's that we have a standing monumental central plan church. Okay. So other people think it's a great idea, but Michelangelo pulled it off. So you want to know the blending. All right. Put up your hand if you can identify the name of this church that we're going to discuss. First golden age of Byzantine art, Justinian. Carly, thank you.
San Vitale.
San Vitale, well done. And San Vitale is in Ravenna, Italy. All right. Now now just look at this and be good. Justinian is the patron. Justinian rules from Constantinople. Okay. What aspect of this church, before we even go inside, is going to put Justinian's stamp on it as the patron of this church? It's going to let you know, yeah, this has got Justinian's name written all over it. Thank you for these hands. Amanda.
The mosaic on the apse.
Well done. So we want to move up into the apse area. All right, so very plain exterior central plan. Right. To the left we see Justinian, and to the right we see the Empress Theodora. Now this is a standard Byzantine mosaic. I want to remind you how different it is in the early Christian when we just paint that. So you want to be good at that. Okay? Now, note that the Byzantine mosaics are very flat, very two-dimensional. Okay. Reminding you of the placement. Give me three, not one, not two, but three elements of support of how this would serve as a great propaganda piece for Justinian. What about this serves as that? What would be something you would want to talk to me about? Savannah, thank you.
Remember the gold?
Yeah.
Power.
Well done. All right, so he's dressed in gold with imperial romes, this gold eternal background. That's a wonderful thing. Are you going back to the movie? No, I am stretching my hand, Ms. Peters. Go away. Thank you so much.
This is a key being centered.
He being centered, he's clearly in the center. That's well done. Now I want everyone to look at, because I feel like you're struggling over something you shouldn't struggle over. Okay, reminding you that pieces often serve reinforcing power and authority, serving as propaganda pieces. So look carefully up here now, because I feel like you're thinking that's hard. That's really hard. Kind of pull upon your knowledge. Think about some things you know. Holly, thank you.
The halo.
Well done. All right, so note that this idea of ruling by divine rule, he's kind of set apart. Thank you, Hannah.
The fact that he has the clergy, the imperial guard, and the government by him.
Around him. So we have representations of all forms of society. So the clergy, government officials, the military. You're missing a really big piece, so we're going to stay on this until I hear it. Thank you so much, Megan. Oh, that's very good too. All right, so he's holding the bread. Okay, so one of the elements of communion, Mass, the Eucharist. Nina.
He is compared to Jesus because he has 12 disciples.
Well done. So like Jesus, if you count heads, you've got a head cluster over here, so you've got to count carefully. You end up with 12, just as Jesus had his 12 followers, his 12 disciples, his 12 apostles. This is his Empress Theodora. Now, here's another church, okay, that he also built. I'm not interested in this one, but who do we see here? Augustus. All right, these are all over. What do we call this? Campanile. Well done. So we just did learn that term. What cathedral is this? Florence. Who designed the dome? Nice. In what period? Renaissance. Well done. All right, now let's go back. Can you do your 4 gospel writers? Good. All right. So who's this? Good. This is a what?
Angel.
Who's this?
Mark.
This is a what?
Lion.
Good. Who's this?
Luke.
This is a what? Who's this?
John.
This is
Eagle.
I feel like I'm teaching like a kindergarten lesson, so I love it. Okay. Now, I do love it. I do. All right, now let's talk about what separates the first golden age from the second golden age of Byzantine art, and that is the iconoclastic controversy. The fight between the iconoclasts, the image destroyers, versus the iconophiles, the image lovers. All right? And it's really that fight over images. It's really that fight over that commandment forbidding the making of graven images. Now, the iconophiles win. They come back strong. But the real change we see comes from their exposure, actually, okay, to art around Rome. Many of the artists have gone. So art of the second golden age is often going to feature pathos and heroic suffering. It's the first time we really get to see Jesus suffering on the crucifix. A common scene to you now. You've seen it so often. Right? Note a standard. Now, this is a very standard crucifixion scene where we see, who's this? Mary. Which one? The Virgin Mary to the right, and who's to the left? John, the beloved disciple. Now, he's usually in red. I want to really highlight that. He's iconographically not his usual color. Where are we here? Venice. Well done. What's to the right there, Paul? The Campanile. All right. Now, this is San Marco, St. Mark Cathedral, Venice. St. Mark is the patron saint of Venice, so many things are named that. Okay. At one time, the most lavishly decorated church with mosaics. This church displaced it. What church is this? St. Louis. If you've been here, all right. So you've seen this, all right. Byzantine dome on pendentive. This is the Vladimir Virgin. Look very carefully at her because you recognize her as being Byzantine. Well done. All right. Now. All right. We're going to close out now in Islam. We're back to big stakes here because this is our last stop of the night, as well as the last stop if you get a 30-minute essay on non-Western and non-European. How many of you think you might get that? How many of you think you won't get that? Ms. Peters isn't committing. Okay, let's go. All right. I'm going to keep that card close. Okay. Now, I want to remind you of your dates, because for some of you that is a weak point, and don't be afraid of admitting that, working on that. Right. Prophet Muhammad received his call from Allah in 610 CE, 610 AD. 7th century CE. You will not look at anything that is Islamic art prior to that. The birthplace of the new religion of Islam is Mecca, and it is the holiest city in the world to Muslims, and it's where they turn to pray how often? 5 times a day. Medina, okay, would be the second holiest city, both of these being in Saudi Arabia. So 5 times a day, yes?
Do we have to know the 5 pillars?
No. But if you find a reason that where you can really embellish an essay with using a Michael, I would. I mean, that's why I want you to learn. Okay. Now, this is the Kaaba.
Yes.
Okay, if you're talking, I need you to stop. Thank you. This is the Kaaba, and this is where Muslims all over the world turn to pray 5 times a day. It obviously serves, and we had a chance to see that. Now, I felt like I didn't want to interrupt, but I'm hoping that you all noted we were in the Islamic Center. Did you all notice the architectural niche facing towards Mecca and the Masjid?
Yeah.
Okay, so we were all looking that way, but we never really had a chance to kind of point that out. So obviously pointing towards the Kaaba, okay? And this is obviously what, you know, Muslims circumnavigate 7 times as they make their Hajj. I'm not gonna do that. Okay, now we will do this one. Name this building. Dome of the Rock. Name the city. Jerusalem. Okay, the 3rd holiest city in the world to Muslims. Now, looking very carefully on the exterior, okay, we obviously see that dome of heaven very much in the central plan, very much being influenced by Christian art, right? But we clearly know that this is not Christian. Okay, you should know your canon well enough that you could look at this building and find not 1, not 2, but 3 features of Islam. Put up your hand when you think you can name 3 features of Islam that you see here. 3 features, 3 features, 3 features, 3 features. Ross, thank you. Be loud for me.
There's no images.
Nice.
It's like bright colors, and the word of
Haravakti, well done. The fear of unused space is very nice. Now, adding to that might be the use of Arabic calligraphy elevated to artwork, not meant to be read. Agreed? Do you see that here? Okay, very nicely done. Now, why, hand please. Why is Dome of the Rock such an important pilgrimage site? We've moved inside, we can better see it here. But what happened here? What's so important about this? Why do we study this? I have to calm Logan, excuse me, let him go right ahead.
Well, it's where they believe that Muhammad was lifted into heaven.
Well done. So he ascended into heaven from the spot.
What did I say?
Lifted, it's fine.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
It's fine, we're fine with lifted. Now, everybody else take a look at this, again, pointing in the direction of Mecca. I want you to note this Arabic arch. Let's just add it to our repertoire of things we've discussed. All right, put up your hand if you think I can ask you any question about this building. Go for it. I don't care. I'm afraid to be wrong. Anna, thank you. Name the building.
The Taj Mahal.
Nice. Put it in a country.
India.
Nice. All right. What's its function?
It's a mausoleum.
Very nice. Very nice. All right.
You're so cool.
Yeah. Okay, now let's do this one. Now, and I'm not going to put this up, and I just want you to realize that, you know, I want to do bigger things. But if you would have us on your test tomorrow, could you, not tomorrow, next time. If you would have us on your test next Tuesday, could you pick it out as being Islamic? Yes. Could you find 3 features that would strongly support that? You good at that? All right. Now, let's go back to this, Muhammad being lifted up to heaven. Okay. So, Muhammad's, it was great. Muhammad's ascension into heaven. All right. It is. You're fine. You're fine. Now, you guys don't make fun of Logan. Only Miss Peters gets to do that. All right. Now, everybody, look at the book illumination. This is our last step for tonight. We want to make it strong. All right. We want to make it really strong. Okay, first of all, and again, I want to go back to your 30-minute essays. I want to make sure now, you guys, just hear this now. Out of a 200-point final exam, your 30-minute essay is worth 30 points. So if you're good at math, and I bet you're much better at math than Miss Peters, your 30-minute essay is a make or break essay. Do you realize that by doing your math? It is. All right. Yeah. I mean, if you really want to make a good strong A, you better rock your 30-minute essay. Now, so let's go back to what makes a good 30-minute essay. Depth and breadth. Not writing on the very first thing that comes to mind. Not writing on the very first thing that comes to mind. So let's pretend you get a painting from. Would book illuminations go under painting?
No.
Okay, let's vote on this. How many people put book illuminations under architecture?
Oh, wait.
How many people put book illuminations under sculpture? All right, let's try this one. How many of you put book illuminations under painting? Oh, I'm feeling a little better. All right, yeah, you do. All right, now, So, and then, now let's layer on another one. Let's pretend that you get a prompt that asks you to discuss a painting with a focus on religion. And one of it has to be from non-Western, non-European. Are you staying with me on that? Yeah, okay, what if you do? Now, could you pull from your repertoire the Ascension of Muhammad? And discuss this, could you do it? Now, would your essay be stronger if you tied this book illumination to Dome of the Rock? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right, so I want to remind you, don't write about the first thing you pick up on. Make sure you feel like you can run with it with a really good, well-supported body paragraph. A really well-supported, where you've covered every aspect of the prompt. Now, let's take a look at this Ascension of Muhammad. Obviously here we see Arabic calligraphy, not elevated to art form, but very much meant to be read. You want to note the difference here. You want to note the bright, vibrant colors of Islam. You want to note the incorporation of four vacues. You would want to discuss how the Prophet Muhammad is displayed without his face being shown. It's either not illuminated at all or covered in a cloth because of that strict adherence to that second commandment forbidding graven images. Is everyone solid on that? Okay, this is your total canon, right? Questions? We'll break for today. I will see you tomorrow, unless you're in my second hour class. Again, I won't be in second hour tomorrow. I'll be up at the rep.